Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. And today I'll be reading a multi-character exterior by me. So let's get into it. Child. Child was a Fatui harbinger, and even though you have known him as your partner for the longest time, he was a fighter at heart. It was something that you both have known. But sometimes, he could get a little bit too scary without even noticing. And you knew that you were not a fan of fighting him. But sometimes during arguments, it just got out of the way. And such was the way he was behaving. Yelling at you. And you could see in his eyes that he was getting a little bit more angry. He absent-mindedly summoned his water swords as he talked to you. And that alone just made you flinch away, feeling like he was going to hurt you. He looked apologetic when he noticed the spelling them. He didn't even notice that he was summoning them in the first place. He tried to apologize, but you just asked to have alone time, and I agreed to that, hoping that you weren't too mad at him. He wanted to make it up to you somehow, and you really hoped you would let him. Albedo. Albedo was such a gentle soul that seeing him get angry was an unusual sight. After all, why would he even get angry at you? Albedo was not that kind of person. Not to mention, he was very level-headed even when something was upsetting him. So that was weird. But when he got angry, his voice had an edge to it that made you shiver. And the look in his eye would give you was colder than the air in Dragonspine itself. And when he first raised his voice at you, he flinched hard enough that he even noticed. And then he found himself quieting down, noticing just how much damage he's been doing. He apologized, asking if you wanted them to leave. And if that's what you want, then it will be the first thing he does. But a few days later, he will come and talk to you, apologize, and try to make it up to you in any way he can. Venti. He had never seen Venti be angry, and frankly, he didn't think you would see him be angry at all. He was a pure cinnamon roll, a ball of sunshine, so what could ever make him mad at you? He didn't expect it, but it was something trivial. Something that the both of you disagreed on, and it got pretty heated really fast. And the wind started flowing around him, and things were flying in your face. You felt like you were flying, too, or close to flying anyway. And you didn't know what kept you on the ground, as you held on to a tree, trying your very best not to be scared by the way he was acting and yelling at you. But then when you flinched, stumbling back, Venti's wind died down as he stared at you, erupting into a volcano of apologies, and asking if he could touch you. And if you let him, then he was going to hold you and hug you close to him, letting out a string of apologies as he hugs you close, promising not to rage at you like that again. He couldn't dream of it, and he didn't know what made him do so. But if anything, he was going to make sure that this will not happen once more. Kazuha. Kazuha was not in a good mood already, and perhaps it was not the best time for you to talk to him about this. It was something that was sensitive to him. And maybe you should have waited. Maybe you should have talked to him about the clan. But he just wanted to, and he didn't realize how upset he already was. But then he started to get mad at you. He had never seen him move like this, or yell at you like that. And Kazuha, he didn't think he would scare you. It was just the way he acted. And then when he came closer, walking over to you, moving rapidly like that, he thought he was going to hit you. So you flinched, welling up, asking him not to hurt you. And that's when he immediately stopped, looking at you, and looking away, apologizing. He did walk away from the scene, telling you if you wanted to talk to him, you could. But for the moment, he was going to give you some space. Scaramouche. Scaramouche was not the kindest person when you first met, but he was slowly healing and trying to be a better person, as much as he possibly could anyway. He had seen people scared of him before, and when the two of you were on good terms, he always thought it was funny how much of an effect he had on all these people and how soft he was with you. Right now, he didn't think it was funny to be in their position. Not at all. Not as he glared at you like that. His eyes looking like he could kill you. And with the way he stoned this catalyst, you really thought he would. You thought he was going to hurt you. And the moment he took a step closer, you flinched. A full body flinch. And then Scaramouche noticed it, stopping, asking if you really just flinched away from him. And when you nodded miserably, he just quieted down, looking at you for a moment before leaving. He couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle the fact that he did this to you. So, until he was ready to talk to you again, you were going to be left alone with your own thoughts, wondering why he got so mad at you. Xiao. Xiao was an adeptus, which meant that he already had some problems with emotions. As Cloud Returner described it, they were kind of distant from them, and they were not really in tune with them. But sometimes things like anger could get the best of Xiao. He meant well. He really did. But sometimes he just couldn't direct his intentions the way he wanted, and sometimes his anger got the best of him in those situations. But it never happened with you, and this was the first time I had seen him so angry. And then he wore his mask, and he was just about to go away, going to walk the argument off. And with one last yell while he wore that mask, he flinched. And before he could teleport, he saw it. So he put it away, frowning. "Are you really scared of me?" he asked, wanting a genuine answer. Because even though it hurt him, he needed to know. And when he tried to explain to him, telling him that it was just an accident and didn't mean to flinch away, he just nodded, quiet, because he knew, no matter how close you are, perhaps he was not meant to be with a human. Perhaps he was not good enough for you, and that's why he should go away completely. He didn't deserve someone as bad as him, someone as corrupted. So, he would be best to stay away from you for now.